Hey, Heather.
Hey, Steven.
You know what we should do?
What should we do?
You know what we should do?
Ooh, say it.
We should get into it! That's Heather.
That's Steven.
Let's get into If We Could Turn Back Time.
Snap out of it.
If I could find my way to a past historical sighting.
Oh, good times. So yes, that is the topic today. We are talking about if we could go back in time. You know, that's something that people talk about, you know, if they could fix something or change something.
Or see a historical site or witness a historical happening.
Yeah. So we'll dive into that. But before we do, Steven, how was your week?
Oh, God, I don't even want to talk about it. Okay. So last week, after we recorded on Tuesday, from then on, I was ill as a mother.
No, what happened?
I missed every day of work until Sunday.
Oh, shit.
I had...
Do you have the Rona?
No, I tested 3 times. I did not.
Okay.
I did not. But I called the Doctor on Demand. Thank you, Doctor on Demand.
the
And thank you for my
best.
employer for making it free.
The best.
So I found out I had big... Okay, so here's the thing. I had this weird sensation of like having like my head bigger than it is and getting dizzy and feeling all kinds
like
of crazy.
equilibrium
Like
shit, yeah.
like vertigo. I think what vertigo would feel like if I knew what vertigo felt like. So then I was like, okay, this is bad. I was on my way to work driving and I was like, I'm too dizzy to drive. I have to turn around. I'm going to have to just call out. And it was too late to like do it by normal standards. So I was like, well, there goes that. The next day I woke up the same thing. And I was like, oh God, maybe tomorrow will be better.
Nope.
Woke up the next day with fucking pink eye.
Oh, shit.
So I had to call the doctor again.
Oh, my
Right. So then, but here's the thing. It wasn't bacterial. It wasn't viral. It was allergy. Because I was like, look at this eye. I just need some drops from that. He's like, no, you've got issues. And I was like, okay, great. Thanks.
Adult pink eye is rude. I had adult pink eye 10 years ago, literally around this time of year. And it was a cold manifesting. Like, I still had the symptoms. They weren't like a full-blown cold, but the cold, instead of being like in my chest or wherever, it manifested in my eyeball. And I was, ironically, at Halloween Horror Nights in line. And I was like...
People are like, ah!
Well, my eye at the time, like, I felt like something was in it. And, like, that'll happen because I wear a lot of eye makeup. And so I was like, oh, it's probably just my eyeliner running into my waterline, whatever. So I kept rubbing it. And I'm like, what the fuck is in my eye? So I was with my Jason and I's roommate at the time, Leah. Hi, Leah. And I was like, girl, look at my eye. And she was like, bitch, your eye is red. So literally same thing. Did Doctor on Demand the next day. And they were like, yeah, babe, that's pink eye. Because it was all, I couldn't open my eye.
So there's different types of pink eye, right?
Yeah, mine was viral. Yours is allergy.
Mine was, thank God, because I've had the viral and bacterial one so many times, it's almost embarrassing. Like, in my early 20s, I would be sent home from work all the time because they're like, you can't be around here. You can't touch things. You can't touch money. And I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm going home. But then, you know, I was like, oh, well, just insult to injury, right? Cancel my classes. I can't wear my contacts.
Oh, God, that's right.
And I've been wearing contacts since I was 13 years old. I got my first pair of glasses at 18 years old.
Yeah.
I had the same pair up until about 3 years ago. And I'm not 18, we'll say that. 41. And I found Zinni, so I got a bunch of cheap pairs from there. So luckily I had those. But then I was like, I can't do my jobs with glasses. They will fly off my face. Like, it's just not how it works. So I ended up missing. And then finally getting better on Sunday. Oh, my God. Oh, it was a mess. And then to top insult to injury, Heather.
Yes.
You're looking at 4 hours of sleep over a 2-day period.
Ugh.
The past 2 nights, I had like at least an hour of sleep last night. And the night before, maybe 3. Just laying in bed, taking medications, doing whatever I can.
Nothing helped?
Nothing.
You need to go to the dispensary and get some good, like...
Didn't work.
Even like the CBD, the ones that are half CBD, because I used to not be a believer in those because I am all THC or nothing. Like, I'm like, don't give me that CBD. But when I went to the dispensary, the bud tender said, she's like, girl, listen, like,
hey,
this
bud
shit,
tender.
hey, bud tender. She was like, this shit knocked me out and like nothing ever works for me. And I was like, yeah, right. Man.
I mean, there's been a couple of good strains of indica that have knocked me out.
Oh, yeah.
I have not found a good one in quite some time. But let me tell you, like my anxiety meds, my rescue, are supposed to make me shut down.
Yeah.
You're supposed to have max out at 3 a day.
Mm-hmm.
I took 2 in a 3-hour period and nothing was happening. I was like, this freaking sucks. I even have sleep patches.
And nothing. Oh my gosh.
So how was your week? Hopefully better than mine.
My week has been pretty quiet. I mean, like, work is busy as always. Like, it's going to be busy
For the rest of your life.
literally. So this was a long weekend. Saturday, I watched The Deliverance, which we'll get into in a quick second. That was the first thing I watched when I woke up, and it was perfect weather. Like Jason had gone to work, and so I had on like my little mood lighting in the bedroom. It was raining and kind of darkish.
I also watched it on Saturday.
Did you?
Because I was homesick.
Oh, yeah. I watched it Saturday morning. So I was in bed, and there were a couple times I was like, this is uncomfortable. Like, little boy with the shit. Ew.
I would have died.
We
and
talked
vomited.
about this at work today, and I was like, I would have punched a child. I would have punched him. Because, like, I don't know how to, like, there was one time that I worked in a daycare center very briefly when I got out of high school.
You?
Yes, because I needed a job, and I would kind of do, like, admin tasks, and then I would help
Has your
out
name
stuff.
been changed to protect your identity since then?
I won't tell you where it was. But there was one time I had the worst migraine. I was so ill. Like, I had the worst migraine. And, like,
If you're
I
about to
couldn't
say
go
you
home.
punched a child.
No, but I came real fucking close because this kid, I will never forget his name. I would say it, but he may be all the kids I
Thinking
watched.
of you, Donovan.
Donovan, no. Side note, one of the kids who was my favorite in daycare because he used to sing NSYNC. He's a father of 2 now. Anyway, so this child looked at me and was like, he said some shit. And I was like, go watch the fucking Wiggles or whatnot. And he had a block and he was like, I throw at you. And I was like, bitch, try it. Fucking try it. And that kid threw that wood ass block at me and it hit me right between the eyes.
He's got some aim.
My first instinct, he was like 1.
Oh
1
my
and a half.
God. Like, at
1 and a
least
half.
Mikey waited to be like 4 or 5 before he tried to fight me.
Correct. Yeah. And so I instantly like went like that, and I had to just sit there, and I was like, Heather.
She's about to throw
And
some bows.
it's in a rich neighborhood too, so I was like, man, I can't do this shit.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that would have been me. Anyway, The Deliverance, if you haven't seen it, there's a scene where it just involves a child and shit, and it's pretty gross.
Close your eyes. Don't eat.
Yeah, I know.
Don't eat food.
Glenn Close in that movie, I was like, we all know. She reminded me of Auntie Mary, like Mary who comes to all our regular shows. I love Miss Mary. She's got the little girl, or her granddaughter Olivia.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mary Green. Yeah.
Mary, I was like, that's Mary.
Auntie.
Like,
I was like, I just call her Mary.
I call her Auntie. Yeah.
So
I'm
yeah,
like, that's
you
her.
know what? That's exactly right.
That's
But
her,
you
yeah.
also know I didn't know that was Glenn Close until you said it a minute ago.
Are you serious?
I was just like, who is this brilliant actress? Because she just had me captivated the
was
whole
Glenn Close.
time.
And you know the girl was a lead, Andra Day. She is a singer by trade. She's not an actress.
I've heard that name before.
Ooh, she sings, and I rise up. That's her. Yeah.
Oh, the amount of times we did that after Pulse at Parliament House.
Yep. So
Rise up.
that's her, and she
killed it.
She was
Killed
everything.
it. Like, she was a real person. Like, I know that woman.
Oh,
who
1
is
billion
struggling
percent.
and frustrating, and
One-
nobody's listening, and
Oh,
raising
1
kids and having mom
million
help. I was like, okay.
Yep, I know
Sometimes
that.
I don't like it when things are too real.
I know, right? I'm like, I know that girl.
Sometimes I'm like, I am that girl.
So then I went on like a whole Lee Daniels, who directed that movie. I went on like a Lee Daniels watching spree. Have you ever seen his movie called The Butler? With Forrest Whitaker, and he plays the White House butler.
I like how you say names like I'm going to know who they
Forrest
are.
Whitaker. He's like a very famous actor, black guy. He's got
Everybody's a really
he's
famous
got-
actor. I don't know who these people
He's a
are.
black man, and he's got like a lazy
Wait.
eye. His eye is
Well,
like,
at least
droopy.
his other eye's working.
But it's about him being a butler in the White House through like all these presidencies.
Oh,
It's really good. And Oprah plays his wife, and she dies.
I haven't
like,
seen it, but I have heard about it.
Yeah, she dies like the day before Obama's elected. It's really sad. But I did that, and then Sunday I saw Nilda, my girl Nilda. I saw Benicio and spent time with him, and he's so cute. And then I spent time with my little new nephew.
Oh,
Lucas. He's so good. He's such a little. He still like scrunches up when you hold him, and he smells so. Oh my god, baby smell.
New baby.
I don't want them, but I'll smell them. Give me your babies.
Okay, that sounded a little
Except if they
creepy.
poop, because I don't.
All babies poop.
Listen, baby poop though is fucking it's
oh.
like adult poop, huh? Baby poop is
It's like
it's
when you're
foul.
a senior citizen and you're a baby, it's the worst.
it's oh god, it's awful.
Like, it's only going to get worse from
I know,
here.
right? And what else? I feel like I did something else during the week, but I could be no.
Something that I know we both did that. We're going to do a whole episode on,
Yeah.
or maybe 4 episodes on, and we're not going to say much about it. Chimp Crazy.
Chimp Crazy. I knew you were going to, yeah.
HBO Max.
I should be Tanya for Halloween.
Oh my
You
God.
can be Tonka.
Oh my God.
The wigs. Oh my God, y'all. If you have not seen Chimp Crazy on HBO Max, like just
watch it, catch up, because we're going to do a deep dive.
Yeah. Next week, I think, is the finale. It's a 4-episode series, which I'm so pissed. I was like, I need 10 episodes like Tiger King.
Well, though, I have a feeling that this might unveil to something else because it's already done U-turns and left turns and right turns and upside down turns and backward turns and then through the universe turns and then Doctor Strange its way back in.
And I am very notorious amongst my friend groups for spoilers. Like, I love spoilers because I don't like to be surprised ever. So I did not spoil myself with the delivery. Well, it had just come out, so I couldn't really do it. But I have not spoiled myself with Chimp Crazy. I didn't know that Tonka was alive because sorry if I spoiled it for y'all, whatever. That's actually a pretty big spoiler.
So we're going to stop talking. Tonka trucks are still alive and well.
But
and
I've
the
not
stock
spoiled
is doing
anything
fine.
else for myself. I like all the twists and turns that have been happening. I don't know.
We'll talk about it off air.
Also, that attorney's gay, and I don't care what anybody says.
Oh my God. Like, everybody is. Who cares?
Everybody's, you're right. Everyone's a little gay.
Everybody's gay.
So, friends.
So, Heather.
We posed a question. Yes.
Yes. I was just going to ask you.
Yeah.
No. I was going to say, we did pose a question.
Yes.
So, Heather, what is an event you would like to go back in time to see? Is it something to witness?
I made notes. I've got one that is top tier, and I'm going to save that for the end. But, so, as you know, listeners or watchers, hopefully you're doing both. We posed a question. We said if we could go back time, historical, and we also asked on Facebook. So we'll go to those in a little bit. So one of the things that I definitely would have wanted to do would be to see Selena at the Astrodome. Her last show where she came out on like the horse and carriage and did the whole like they duplicate it in the movie. That the purple outfit. I'm like getting goosebumps thinking about it. I would have loved to have been there and like just like splurged on front row tickets and just like gone to see. There's so many like dead, like I would have loved to have seen Michael Jackson.
But like doing
Amy
what? Just like,
Winehouse.
hey, I'm opening the door. You're selling good girls cookies. What's going on? Like,
Who, Michael Jackson?
No, but what would you want to see? Like just him in general?
No, it's concert.
Oh,
I want to
okay.
see him in concert. Like my parents got to see Michael Jackson in concert. I never got to see Michael Jackson. And my parents saw him right as Off the Wall came out. Like he was still with his brothers, but he was just like a solo artist. So my parents got to see him in Detroit. And so I will watch YouTube videos of like his shows or like his Super Bowl thing. And these people are just like passing out. So I would have loved, because that would have been a concert where I would know pretty much every song.
Right.
Because that's weird if you go to a concert and like, you know, like just the hits and then they're singing other songs and you're like.
Well, I mean, they're the hits for a reason. Let's be honest. I mean.
But I also, this is surprising that a lot of people would find peculiar. I don't really thoroughly 100% enjoy concerts, which you would think, me loving music as much as I do, that I would love concerts.
There's several different types of concerts, though.
Yeah, I love the more intimate settings, like Jason's cousin played at Judson's, which is the new venue at the Dr. Phillips Center. Stunning. I would go to a concert there every week because
it's funny. I'm doing a concert there tomorrow.
Hey, it's sit-down service. The acoustics are beautiful. It's easy to get into. There's no idiots. Like, so if it's an intimate setting, you know, things along those lines, I'm fine. But like the act of going to a concert at an arena, of the parking and all of the people and the expensive drink. It's just a lot. I have to like hype myself up to go. Like wrestling's one thing, because wrestling, it's like if I miss a match.
It's theater. It's a show. It's theater though.
Yeah.
It is more than just, okay, I'm listening to you sing.
Yeah. Wrestling's different, but like concerts, it has to be somebody really fucking. Like, I would love to see Sabrina Carpenter because I'm obsessed with her album right now, but I ain't paying.
Come here, buddy.
However, $500, like these people that go see Taylor Swift and pay like however many.
Do you know Jason Simon?
Yeah.
You've met him here at least.
China.
He went to, no.
Is that another Jason?
Yeah.
Okay.
He doesn't do drag or anything, no.
No. I meant like he went to China.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That Jason. Yeah. I was like, wait, no, his name's not China. No. Yeah. But he, I think, flew to Paris to see Taylor because it was cheaper
That's
there.
Everybody says that it's cheaper to fly. And I'm like, there's no, even the Spice Girls, I did not, I came this close, trust me. I came this close to flying to see their last run, but it was only 4 of them. And I was also really fucking mad at Ginger because her outfits, like she's gone kind of conservative. So all the other girls are in these cute little like you've got Mel B in her leopard with her titties out and like looking good. Baby Spice got her shorts on and she's looking great, sporty with her halter. And there's Ginger in a full fucking Union Jack gown. I'm like, put on your old Union Jack shorty. Like, I want to see that. So anyway, Selena is a concert I would have loved to have seen at the Astrodome specifically. What about you? What's your...
You know, I have been thinking about this all day.
I feel like I know what your top one's going to be. It's a pretty easy one.
What do you think?
Dinosaurs. You would have wanted to see dinosaurs in person.
Why didn't I think of that? Why didn't I think of that?
And just like,
but see, here's the thing. If I were to go and see, did you see the meme that I posted of the Jurassic Park meme? I did. Yeah, and it's like, oh, like the characters are living in fear for 24 hours. And I'm like smiling in the front seat going, this is my comfort movie. But no, I would probably get killed immediately.
But I feel like you would be sitting... Like, while you would want to see a T-Rex, you would want to sit on, like, a bluff somewhere, like, in the movie, and just, like, watch, like, the friendly dinosaurs, like Brontosaurus.
Oh, no, it would be like Pokemon. I would try to catch them all. Like, not catch them because, you know, I want them to be free and live, but I will catch a photo of each one of these little bastards, and I will name them. I will try to feed them, even if it's, like, feeding them another dinosaur just to make friends. I don't know.
Speaking of dinosaurs, did you see our friend Steph's new tattoo?
Did not.
She got... a dinosaur skull, and half of it is here, and the other half's here.
So when she bit, oh my god, that stupid bitch! I love her.
Okay, so anyway, I totally trumped you because I thought it was dinosaurs.
But no, like I didn't even think about that. I would have been thinking about like historical facts that made it into the history. Q, what are you doing, buddy? Look,
every podcast, he's like, "Put me on camera, Daddy."
Well, he just keeps walking around in this room in a circle with his bone in his mouth. Say hi. Say hi. This is the bone.
His little nose.
But he has been just walking around a circle in this room for like 5 minutes, and he got his bone stuck by the lamp. So I'm just like, you know what? Sit here and chew this motherfucker. Another, I think, God, I think it would be cool to have been there opening day of Disney to see how different it was versus now.
Disneyland?
Disney World.
Or World, okay.
Disney World.
Because Disney World had their shit together. Disneyland did not.
It's just like Universal didn't have their shit together.
No, they sure did not.
1990 was not a good time.
It was a disaster. Okay, so Disney World in Florida.
I would say Disney World for sure.
Okay. Another thing that I would do... I'm a big believer in like shit happens for a reason, right? Even the bad things you go through, like it's meant to bring you to where you're at in your life.
Everything's a learning process.
However, I definitely in 1968 April, Memphis, Tennessee, would have gone to the hotel where Martin Luther King got shot, the Lorraine Motel. And I would have been like, hey friend, listen, don't go out on the balcony today. Like, I know you want fresh air and I know you need a break from Jesse Jackson and like all these people in here, but like just stay in the room, or like, just don't go to Memphis, because I feel like Martin Luther King is somebody where if he had been alive longer, it would have been really cool to see like
what the progress he would have.
Yeah, because I think they said he'd be something like he'd be in his 80s now, like late 80s, early 90s. And I would have loved for him to have seen like Obama as president and like black people, granted, we still have a hell of a fight, but, Kamala and all of these big things that have happened, I would have loved for him to have seen it. And it's weird to think about. He was 39, I think, when he died.
Why was he so mature?
He did look,
he didn't look old, but he carried himself like an old man.
He spoke. I remember being in school and we were watching speeches and some kid in class was like, why does he sound like a ghost? Always.
Thanks for listening to our show.
But he was 39 when he died, which is wild. I thought he was like 50 something and he was 39 when he died. So I would do that, or like go to JFK and say, hey friend, listen, I know.
But no, here's the thing, because if the butterfly effect, you do one thing, we might not exist.
No, because what if JFK had lived and then like Vietnam would have got like that? I'm a little hesitant with presidents, but like Martin Luther King, I feel like he would have made more of an impact.
Right, but you don't know what
No,
would have affected
that's it,
whether
I
your
know.
parents would have ever met, because they
I
could have done
know.
completely different things.
We might not be doing this podcast. Maybe I would have been a millionaire.
Oh my God, maybe I'd be homeless.
Damn it, I'm okay. You ruined my
Sorry, you have to
millionaire
settle for me here. No, I'd go back in time and stop Harambe from being assassinated. Because that was unnecessary.
dream. Dicks out for Harambe. Tonka.
That's for the next episode.
Tonka, no.
Oh my God.
Or go to the chimp attack in Connecticut, which is a part of the documentary, and been like, hey.
And it's
hey,
not.
Don't go to your friend's house. Man, listen.
Yeah, like
Listen.
things like that would probably have a major impact on.
If
maybe
one of my
I don't
friends,
know.
if you called me one day and said, and granted, this is your homework assignment, listeners, is to watch Chimp Crazy, or people know, I knew about this before Chimp Crazy because it was my hometown, the chimp attack. Travis the chimp, he was a pet.
knew about it.
It was all over the news.
National news.
Listen, if you called me tomorrow and said, hey, I'm having a tough time getting Coupon back in the yard because he's chasing peacocks, can you help me? Okay, because it's Coupon.
Yeah.
Just like if I was like, hey, I think I lost Mama. Okay, let's go. Bitch, let me tell you something. First of all, if any of my friends had a chimpanzee, chimpanzees are adorable. We love a good chimpanzee. However, if one of my friends had one, and they called me and said, Heather, Travis has gone crazy. Can you come over and help me? I would have just been
Sorry,
like,
I'm in Paris right now. I can't help you.
Sorry, I'm
gotta going into surgery right now. Good luck.
I've got to go tanning and I got to dye my hair, so I can't. No, bitch. And then ripped her. Can you imagine living with that, knowing that you told your best friend to come over and then she got her face fucking ripped off by a chimp and you just get to live and you're just like,
I can think of something worse, but it's a spoiler. We're not going to get to it. We're going to talk about it.
Yeah. But anyway, okay, so you wouldn't necessarily go back and change anything.
I wouldn't want to change anything.
Okay,
I would just want to observe, because again, I think that you said everything happens for a reason.
Okay.
Like, I think I've never seen the movie Butterfly Effect, but I feel like
that's part of
one thing could lead to another, to another, to another, to another. And if you've ever seen anything like time travel, whatnot, I mean, that is exactly what happens.
Okay, so I'm going to present you with a situation and you have to tell me what you would do.
Hot seat.
Okay. So let's say that you're able to time travel and you can't pick where you go. So you get in the machine, all of a sudden.
Totally randomized.
Yes.
Already good for.
Randomized.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say when you're randomized, you're in a boat in a body of water in Australia. And you look around, you're part of a crew, and you see Steve Irwin. And you're like, okay, I'm a part of the camera crew. And Steve says to you, Steven, other Steven, we're in between filming my show. I'm going to jump in the water and get content for Bindy's show. Mm-hmm. Will you film me? What would you say to him?
And I quote, oh God, this is where the big sharks are. Why are we not in a bigger boat? Oh my God. Don't go in there. Everybody's going to die. Like, we're going to die already. Don't go in there. Oh God, what was that? Is that a shadow or is that a fish? Oh, I don't want to be here anymore. That's what my answer would be.
So if he was like, Steven, do you think I should get in the water? What would you tell him? You'd say no.
I would say that to everybody, especially Australia. Are you kidding? Everything in Australia is trying to kill you.
I feel like if Steve Irwin had lived, it's just like Martin Luther King. It wouldn't have fucked with the space-time continuum. I think that Steve
If anything, we would have healthier animals.
We would have healthier animals. I feel like his kids still would have gone into concert. Like, his kids are just hardwired to be good people. Like, right. I don't think they would have gone off the beaten path. I don't think they would have fought with him.
Well, originally the plan was to sell meth, but they thought they'd honor their father instead.
Robert was going to be a prostitute.
Dick for short.
Right.
Oh, wait, that's Richard. Never mind.
But I feel like I would have, let's say if that were me and I ended up in the randomizer, I would have found like a weapon and I would have just
taken out the stingray.
I still don't trust those Well,
you just heard me rant about sea creatures, right? You don't have to justify not trusting them to me.
Even before Steve Irwin, I never where I grew up, there was an aquarium in the Maritime Center and they had stingrays and it was a touch tank and you could put your hands in, and I never wanted to. And then the one time I got courage, it was, so in Connecticut, horseshoe crabs were a thing. Did you have horseshoe crabs in Mississippi? They're not in Florida at all, at least that I've seen. So horseshoe crabs are everywhere in Connecticut, and I grew up in a coastal town, so like they were always on the beach. And so we in 3rd grade did a lobstering field trip because, again, I grew up in a coastal town. We didn't have a lot to do on field trips. So we went lobstering. And so they took us out on this boat, and we had our chaperones, and then we dropped.
Used you as slave labor.
No, they dropped it. We were exploring. It was part of our little science class. So we dropped a basket.
Exploring. And what did they do with the ones you caught?
We dropped a basket in the water. They brought it up, and then we spread everything out, and you had to like figure out what sea animals. I still have a picture in my room somewhere.
So this is the appetizer. This is the entree.
But I picked up a horseshoe crab because I got brave, and that fucker pinched. It had something on the side.
It's got all those little legs on the side and the thing on the back.
And I dropped it, and the person was like, "Oh, you should have put it down, bitch." It bit me. Like, no, I'm not dropping.
Bite you.
Oh, you pinched me. Let me gently. No, fuck you. No. You bit me.
I would have yeeted that thing like a football. I would have like. I'm a punter now. I can just punt that motherfucker.
As an adult, I fully would have. Like, as a kid, I was scared because I was like, oh, field trip. Man, as an old-ass adult.
No, okay. So for those who may be their first time listening, I have a serious fear of sea creatures. So that's why I'm reacting like this. I watched Jaws as a child, and
You wouldn't have fought the stingray for Steve Irwin.
No, I don't know him. No, I don't know him. Never met him. Never met him. And it's in the water in Australia. What else is in the water? Great whites? Greater whites? The greatest whites?
The greatest white shark. I'm the greatest.
God, I lived 2 blocks from the water growing up. My sister told me once that, and it was a seawall, so it wasn't like a beach, but the other side of the town had the beach. Yes. My sister told me as a young child, she's like, oh, that's where the kid got his leg bitten off by a sand shark.
The fuck?
And then at the time told me that the sand shark went on the sand to get the leg. And I believed it for a very long time.
I almost believed it right now. I was like, wow, sand shark. I don't know about sharks.
Yeah, no.
Hammerhead and great white.
And there's a nurse shark.
No, yeah.
And there's a hungry shark. And there's an angry shark.
Sharknado.
There's a bitter shark.
I got nothing. I just
an angsty shark. They're all there. I was actually
listening
to...
What are the little brown ones? There's
Baby
like the little brown
shark. I don't know.
Little like, hold on. Now I gotta
There's
look.
so many different kinds. Yeah, go ahead and Google.
What are brown sharks called?
Brown sharks.
Sandbar shark.
Yeah, sand shark.
Okay. Sandbar, I guess is that
See?
It?
And we had a lot of sandbars too. Because we would go from the beach through a little bit of water onto a sandbar. So we'd have like deep water around us. Mm-hmm. Fuck that.
Can you imagine dying of a shark attack? Like,
yes, I can. It has been a nightmare of mine for a very long time.
That's embarrassing. Like, imagine, like, you're going to a funeral. It's like, yeah, Stanley, shark got him.
I mean, it's rather than, like, choking on a piece of tofu. I'd rather have that story.
What, choking on tofu
like,
or
oh,
shark?
He died choking on tofu.
You're right. Yeah, because shark kind of is badass.
Yeah, I'm like, I always said, if I'm going to die, I want it to make the news. Like, I don't want it to be like, oh, yep, he died of
still on a meteor.
Old age. Like, no, I want to be like, he was kidnapped by Godzilla and dropped from an airplane as he was swatting. I don't know.
Okay, let me see what else I had. I said dinosaurs. I went over all of them. Essentially.
I like how you put mine on your list.
Well, I also would have liked to have seen the 7 Wonders of the Ancient World in person. That would be kind of cool.
In its original form.
In its original form, because I have like Jason and my mom and I will literally go into these deep dive thoughts about like how all that shit was built.
Oh my God. I think about that all the time.
How did they build like all these things, like the roads at Colossus and the lighthouse at Alexandria, like even the pyramids that are still existing to this day. How did they do it? My mom thinks it's aliens. That's my mom thinks it's aliens.
Ancient Aliens has gone on episodes like why would aliens come here and be like, let's fuck with them pyramids. You know what? Maybe we're just like ants in an ant farm, and they're like, oh, let's decorate it for them. Okay, we'll put some triangles over there.
I think
we'll
about
put the Stonehenge randomly over here. These are all the extra parts. We'll just put them there and stack them.
Do you ever think that like your real self is in a coma, and this is the coma part? And
I hope so.
I think about it all the time. Like when I'm in a really dumb situation, like if I'm at home and I drop something and it spills, I'm like, I hope that my coma person right now is like just laughing.
Just twitch. Because you know you don't dream when you're in a coma.
No. Mm-mm. You're just But I mean, I'm sure it's probably like nothing.
What if it's like the Matrix where we're like plugged in from the back and we don't know it because we signed up for like something to get a credit card, or like, hey, if you donate your brain for 15 minutes, we'll give you like this t-shirt and a koozie. And us being like dumb college kids would be like, yeah, we'll do it for 15 minutes, but then they just keep us there.
Yep. This is completely off topic, but I feel like it's very on brand for us to go off topic. Have you watched the new season of Unsolved Mysteries on Netflix?
I have not.
Okay. There is an episode called, it's called like The Head or something. So I am not a fan of this new Unsolved Mysteries reboot on Netflix. I think it's trash. It's not scary. It's a little creepy, and they keep the music like an interpretation of the theme song. But to me, OG Unsolved Mysteries, God. Nothing will top that.
Traumatized music.
Yeah. And this new one doesn't have a narrator. It's just people telling their stories. And I'm like, it needs a spooky narrator. We need a Robert Stack. So before I watched this new season, like I just kind of had it on the background, whatever. I listened to a podcast called Snap Judgment, which is, it's same as Spooked. Yeah. So they did an episode about this lady who was like a courtroom drawer, and she got into like forensic stuff and whatnot. And she got called to a case because they found a perfectly embalmed body, like a head, not a body, good Lord. They found an embalmed head with a clean cut in the woods. And it was in a bag, and they still to this day have not identified who it is. But they gave it like a proper funeral, and they were like figuring things out. So as I'm listening to the podcast, I'm like, God, this is interesting, but I don't want to look it up because I'm going to freak myself out. So it's an episode on Unsolved Mysteries.
And now you're like, fuck that. I don't care.
Well, like, honestly, if you're into true crime and all that shit, listen to the Snap Judgment episode first. I think it's also called like The Head or something. Watch that episode, or listen to that episode first, and then watch Unsolved Mysteries, because it's cool to see all the people. Because the podcast episode's like an hour and some change. So you get to know these people that were really involved. And on Unsolved Mysteries, you get to see what they look like. And they show, now they do show the head, but
is it like,
it's blurred out so you can see the hair and you can see the shape of the head.
I remember seeing the face, but I've seen the picture before.
Yeah. So it's, we were talking about donating to science. So they were saying that they're pretty sure that this was someone who either like they had makeup on and their hair was done, so they probably like were embalmed. Well, no, they were embalmed, but they were saying that when you sell your body to science, so like when you do offer that up or whatnot, typically they'll pay for everything. They'll pay for the cremation. They'll pay. That's how a lot of people who are financially strapped, like, you know, take care of their loved ones when they pass, is they just give them to science because it's free. But in our heads, you're always like, oh, science, that means they're going to like take them to mortuary school and do whatever. No, baby.
Oh, no, they'll do bullet testing on that shit.
Bullet testing, crash test dummies with cars, the bodies exhibits you see. Like, those are all people who donated to science, and that's what they think it was.
There was a thing a long time ago, and I can't remember the time frame. It was like in olden days or whatnot, where people would go grave robbing to donate for money to Bodies for Science.
There are two famous people. Like, I can't remember their names, but they always have podcasts about them. It was like a duo in like the Jack the Ripper era. I can't remember their names. So before we dive into what our friends said on Facebook, because we got some good ones.
I have one more.
Anything, I was going to say, is there anything else? Yes.
The Lost City of Atlantis.
Oh, yes. That's a good one.
I would love to see that above ground.
That's a good. Do you believe it was real?
How else would it not be? Like, I'm sorry. I have watched the water reclaim so much of this earth already.
We talked about it on our spooky episode, or
the lake with everything underneath and the houses still preserved.
Lake Lanier, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, Hurricane Katrina brought half of my hometown back into the ocean.
That is very true. I feel like we're overdue for that.
Don't say it. Don't. Well, we're so far inland. I'm not.
Oh yeah, Orlando's fine, but like if you're on the coast,
take me away, my sweet escape.
But that's a good one.
Yeah, Atlantis. It would be really cool to like see something like that nobody's really seen. Well, I guess nobody's really seen.
Yeah, wasn't that in the new Black Panther movie, Atlantis?
Probably.
With the guy Namor, the pretty like Hispanic guy.
I think he had something to do with something like
that.
So what did our Facebook friends have to say?
Let's find out. Clap, 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 clap.
Let's go podcast.
Let's see.
Everybody loves vocal fries.
I know. Not my picture at work. Oh my gosh.
You're so prepared for this.
I'm very prepared for this.
Totes profesh.
Okay, here we go. So we asked on Facebook, if you could go back in time and witness a historical event, what would you choose? Nothing sentimental or corny. We want to know if you'd catch a fade with John Wilkes Booth. Because I was waiting for someone to be like, I'd have lunch with my grandpa.
Oh, God, yeah. Because what was the one, like, the advice one? Everybody was, like, super real. And we're like,
yeah, it's like, no,
that's
we
not
don't
what
want
we
no.
wanted.
Yeah. Okay, so my friend Bear, who I love, if you need catering, hit Bear up. Bear said, Hitler and I are squaring up. I'm going full Rambo on his ass.
I support that.
I fully
support that.
Because I feel like what would have happened if, let's say, Bear was able to go back in time and mollywop Hitler? How would that have affected? I mean, hundreds of thousands, possibly millions of people
would still be alive.
But
I probably wouldn't be.
Yeah, you're.
Not that I'm Jewish or anything, but like, it's just that's a huge impact on the world.
Yeah, I feel like we could do with that. It's kind of like.
I'll take my chances.
Yeah, we'll take our chances.
Take my chances.
Okay. My friend Kelly, who I went to Ireland with, which we'll do an Ireland theme episode very soon. She said, I wish I could have watched the moon landing live. Such an inspirational moment. And I'm not a good fighter. Because I said the square up.
Oh my God. So she would want to be floating like on the moon, just eating popcorn?
Or no, she said she would have watched the moon landing live, like on TV. You know, people like gathered around.
Oh, well, see, you know if you could be in a time machine, bitch, just be out there and like
I said go to
we're in
Kennedy Space Center.
A time machine.
Yeah.
It has an invisibility cloak.
Oh, you could go to the
So
moon.
you can just watch, and you watch from the moon, and you sit there, and you eat your freeze-dried popcorn, because that's what astronauts probably eat, and you sit there and watch it.
You know how I feel about the moon landing, and I don't want to go into it because I don't want people to come for me, but I have a very difficult time believing that the moon landing was something that actually happened.
Why?
Because I literally yesterday, I went on like a space kick because The Martian is on HBO Max. Have you watched The Martian?
With
HBO
Matt
Max?
Damon?
Yeah?
Yep, I have. Potatoes.
Potatoes. I love that movie so much. So we watched it yesterday.
What was the one I was watching? Never mind. Keep going.
Okay. But then we watched this thing about Apollo. And so the last Apollo flight that went to the moon, I was watching it and I was like, this is not real because of just the way everything was bright and perfect and clean. I was like,
the sun is up there. And you know the clouds are down there.
When I say bright, I mean like they had some sort of orange thing, like a foil thing, and it looked very... Anyway, I could talk all day about my feelings about the moon landing. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I don't...
What, it was July 20th, 1969?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you think they had a better digital camera or didn't?
We couldn't even make long distance phone calls back then, I don't think. So if you can't make a long distance phone call, you can take a television camera to the moon.
Well, if you have the money. Hello? It's not like NASA was working for $10.
I could do a whole episode about this, but I'm not going to.
Maybe we will.
Okay, so my friend Patricia said the JonBenet Ramsey murder.
Do you want to watch the murder?
Or like see, so that way you can you can rat him out. The dad did it.
It was
the
the brother.
did it. It was the brother, yeah. It was Burke. Okay.
Burke.
Wes.
Oh, God.
I love Wes.
Wes the mess, y'all.
He made my 3rd grade teacher very mad with the status. Literally. I love you, Miss
I can't
Siskel.
wait to hear the reply.
I love her so much.
But
cute. Okay.
No,
Wes said, I would try to go back to the Jesus days and see if the 12 disciples was just a gaggle of gays having orgies with each other.
What's wrong with that, Miss Staples or whatever your name was?
We're going to move on from that. Anyway.
What was her reply?
She said, not funny, totally disrespectful.
Oh.
Yes. So, there's always one. Our friend Adam. Look, Adam, we're mentioning you. We're mentioning you. We love you. Thank you so much for watching, listening. You're the best. This is actually a great one. He said, I think it would be fun to attend the 1901 Pan American Expo in Buffalo, New York, to witness the first public use of electricity and light bulbs. It must have been fascinating to see the electric tower lit up at night when you're used to candlelight and fireplaces for your entire life.
Could you imagine, like, the culture shock? End of days! God doesn't want this!
It's the devil!
It's the devil's light!
And now that I think about it, I would have gone back to, like, the World's Fair back when they were, like, doing all the technology.
Like the crazy ones.
Yeah, I would have gone to the World's Fair.
Oh, it's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. Oh, I would love to see that for the first time around at the World's Fair.
Robot! Our girl Alina said Alina is in the Ghostbusters Halloween Horror Nights commercial. Have you seen that commercial?
Probably.
Where she comes out and she's like, not in this neighborhood. She's a badass.
Good for you, Juanita.
She said, letting my 80s kid out for a minute. I would love to be at the Rum Runner Club, Birmingham, catching Duran Duran perform for the first time. That's a good, that wouldn't fuck up the
that would be
space-time
great.
thing.
That would just be like further educating, like
and tying,
music and art.
we actually kind of have a run. Yeah, the next couple ones are tied into like 80s stuff. So my girl Isabel said, I don't know if it counts as historic, but I would have liked to have been at Woodstock to see Hendrix play.
That's a good one.
It's a great one.
You know, 99 Woodstock too, to watch it fail.
Oh my God, Limp Bizkit.
Oh my God, Fire Island. That wasn't even that long ago, but that could be a
Firefest.
Fire.
Fest.
Yes, Firefest, not
Fire
Island. I've never been to Fire Island.
Oh my God,
Firefest. It'd be a fly on the wall. Just watch the madness from like a floating ship.
Please. Our girl Teresa Freeman, who we love, said, I luckily am old enough to have been a part of the NYC club scene of the early 90s, right before I moved to Orlando. So I got to party at Limelight, Roxy, Danceteria, Palladium, and Club USA. But I really wish I'd been old enough to have been a part of Studio 54 because it started it all. Yeah.
I could see me going there.
And tying into that, our friend Joel Swanson said, trying to do a line with Liza Minnelli at Studio 54 is the only answer.
Keeping it classy, Joel.
Keeping it classy. And Jason's BFF, Mike, said also the grassy knoll and to find out the truth about the JFK assassination.
You know what? I would like the truth. I wouldn't try to change it.
You're right.
I wouldn't try to change it because again, that would fuck up history. And we wouldn't be here. We'd be dead or not alive or still in a nutsack somewhere.
That was a 50-50 for me because I could see that, Lee Harvey Oswald. I could see why he wanted to kill Kennedy because he was like a Russian extremist. I get it. But also, Kennedy scared the government really bad at the time because he was very progressive and very forward-thinking. So I could see them being like, just get rid of him. And what's wild is that if you guys didn't know, I am a certified expert in the JFK assassination. And by certified expert, I mean I've watched so many documentaries about it.
3.
It's been more than 3. It's been 4. But Lyndon Johnson was the vice president at the time, and he was like super insistent on.
Did you call her Linda Johnson?
Lyndon.
No,
Johnson.
That's what I said. I think
LBJ.
It sounded like you said
Lyndon. No,
Linda
Lyndon.
Johnson. I was like, who?
Lyndon.
And I'm pretty sure you said
LBJ.
she, but we'll go back, check the tape.
Lyndon B. Johnson, LBJ.
My cousin.
He was super insistent on being sworn in as president, like almost too much, where he and Kennedy, like Kennedy was the young hotshot and he was, the older politician. And so I know if I was Jackie Kennedy, got the blood and the brains all over my dress, and this guy was like, hey, I'm going to swear in for president. And he was like, Jackie, you got to be next to me. You have to be. And you can see the pictures. She's standing there completely dissociating, as one would after your husband's brains are all over your clothes.
And then you caught them. You turned around and tried to reach for them.
Yeah.
We've seen the video.
But it's like, why was this man so insistent? I would be like, that's my friend. Like, I need some time.
I can see 2 reasons.
For like decision making and stuff.
Decision making and like, oh God, is this a terrorist attack? We need somebody in power right now.
But also, I wouldn't have made a big show about my swearing in. I would have been like, just give me a Bible and a witness.
Let's do it right now.
And do it. But he was like, he had to do some big spectacle on Air Force One. So I feel like he knew some shit.
Have you ever seen The Umbrella Academy?
No. Did they talk about JFK?
Number 5 kills JFK.
Oh, not.
You should watch it.
I keep saying John Wilkes Booth, not Lee Harvey Oswald.
No, it was number 5. He was an Umbrella Academy person.
Lee Harvey Oswald?
No, number 5.
Okay, I'll have to watch it.
I'm gonna fucking play you an episode before you leave this house.
My friend Lindsay, not our Lindsay, but another Lindsay, said William Henry Harrison's presidential campaign and that giant tin ball he rolled through town.
Side note, before you get into that tin ball,
I know nothing about this.
I legit was coming home from work the other day, and there was a guy walking down the street with a tinfoil hat on. I kid you not. He looked to be like mid-20s, casually walking down the street.
Was he cosplaying Signs?
No.
Joaquin Phoenix?
No.
Move, children, vamonos.
He was like heading towards the Wawa. And I was like,
he's protected.
Anyway.
He knows the aliens. I love Harvey. Harvey said, I would have liked to have been a fly on the wall at Jonestown. Oh.
Fuck.
Yeah. That was not Kool-Aid Flavor Aid. That was Flavor Aid guy. Jim Jones.
Yeah.
Yes, I saw his sunglasses at Greyface in Savannah.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah. My friend Lizzie said... Richie Valens' first performance of La Bamba, because all I know is that in the movie they made it seem really exciting. Was it really that exciting?
Let him have his moment. La bomba.
Richie Valens, the oldest 17-year-old we've ever met.
God, he was 50. He was lying about his age. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's like watching old episodes of Saved by the Bell and watching students at their lockers being fully bald. Like, who put this 47-year-old on the locker that's going to homeroom?
Do you know what's worse than Saved by the Bell? Grease.
Oh, my God. Stockard Channing was a grandma when she was playing a slutty 16-year-old.
Jeff Conaway Kanicki, he was a full-out senior citizen.
God.
This one made me laugh really, really hard, and I was like, also same. My friend Ryan said, I want to be on Being Bobby Brown and be on that camping trip that he and Whitney were on. It was a very historical moment in life, LOL. Being Bobby Brown... I've rewatched it a couple times when I've been drunk on the couch, like when Mandy comes into town, we'll typically rewatch it. Being Bobby Brown was one of the greatest reality shows because it showed this other side of Whitney Houston, who was the Beyonce of that time. And imagine Beyonce on a show like that now.
Why it's so funny that you're like, it was the Beyonce of that time instead of Beyonce's the Whitney of her time.
Yeah,
but look how you phrased it, though. She said what she said.
I said what I said. I'm sorry, Beyonce and Whitney. Okay, my husband had a great one. He said Roanoke Colony.
Oh my God.
Just be in the bushes when they all, because like that is like what happened.
It's still unsolved. We don't know.
We don't know what happened.
They were all picked up and forced to go back in time to build pyramids.
And the thing is, the guy who was the head, James, whatever his name is, James Dare, whatever. He left for 3 years and came back, and they were all gone. So unless like these,
but there was no traces. They left everything behind.
Like, can you imagine if these hoes were like, "Bye, James, bye," and they watch his boat go out, and they watch his boat go out, and they're like, "Get everything now, get it, go."
Maybe he was an abusive husband. We don't know.
That's what I'm saying. He could have been like a cult leader, and they're like, "Fuck this guy. We're gonna go to wherever and just up and leave." I don't think they died. I think they just literally.
If they died, there would have been remains. There would have been something found. If there was murder.
I think they were mad at him.
Abandoned. Well, who fucking goes like, I guess I'm just gonna leave my house here? Like, I'm sorry, you paid, I'm sure, like 30 cents to build your house back
30
then.
30 shillings.
Like a hay penny or something. But do you just walk away from that? Did they have no respect for investments?
I know.
Resale value?
Because, like, unless... I can't really think of a valuable reason where I would be like, I'm just going to leave everything in my house.
Witness protection?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
I don't know. Having a bad day makes me think about it often.
Same. Oh, this is a good story. I should have told this during the week. So last night, Jason and I are sitting on the couch watching wrestling. We both had weed cookies. So we're both just like on the couch. All of a sudden at our front door, it's like 10:20 at night.
Was the bear back?
The door.
The bear? It was
no,
back?
I wish it was the bear. Not like a little like boom, 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 boom. So my immediate thought was, did I do something illegal? This is the police. Because if somebody died, like the cops will come to your house sometimes if there's an accident.
Yeah, but they don't beat like
that.
They
will not beat like that. They'll ring the doorbell, do a little soft knock. This is a... So scared the shit. Like that high that we had from those cookies completely gone. And we were like, we immediately go to the Ring camera, and it was this girl, and she was like, shit, I'm at the wrong house. And she walks away. And I was like, damn, bitch, you're lucky that it wasn't a different house. It was such an aggressive... I've never in my life knocked on a door like that. Ever. It was so aggressive at 10:20 at night. And I was like, what if I was at home by myself? It was terrifying.
I feel like I've done this.
Trust me. Back
Definitely
in my crazy
been
days,
at the wrong house.
I used to do that all the time at house parties where it was those apartment complexes. That
I'm
all
talking about places where I've already been. There was one time I went to Scott's and parked at the neighbors and walked up.
No, I definitely did that in like Metro West, which for those who don't live in Orlando, Metro West is a neighborhood that has about 20 of the same apartment complexes.
Oh my God.
They all look the same.
Cookie cutter.
And I'll never forget, it was when I was working for Nickelodeon. Went to this house party, and I was just drinking a bottle of tequila, and I went outside to like do something, and I came back in, and I went back, and I was like, wait a second, I don't know where I am. So I was just like knocking on doors. And I was like, oh, this isn't
No.
like, I cannot do that now.
Hey, do you know my friend Michelle?
Do you know my friend Michelle?
Hey, there's this guy that invited me to a party. He's about yay tall.
Okay, so that was Roanoke. My friend Angela said Vegas 1960s heyday, like the Rat Pack and stuff.
No, I didn't really feel that vibe.
Yeah.
You know, I don't like Vegas at all.
I've never been.
I've been twice for work.
Yeah.
And I've been there, like, I think the longest I've been there was 18 hours.
Yeah.
That was enough.
I would go see, so same. I do want to go to Vegas, but I want to do like a Thursday morning through Sunday morning.
I would like to do a Thursday morning through Saturday morning.
Okay.
Just to see RuPaul's Drag Race live show.
Yeah, I'd want to see a couple
That's
shows.
it. Or maybe one of the Cirque shows.
I also want to see a really bad show, though. Like, I want to see, there's apparently a Spice Girls tribute act that is not good, and I'd want to see that.
Why don't we put on a purposely terrible show?
We could. In Vegas?
Or here. I have the space.
The circus.
Oh
Okay,
God.
so Scott, our friend Scott Stoll, he said, ancient Greece at the first Olympics where all the athletes were naked. Valid.
You are thinking with your brain, Scott.
Yeah.
I would love, I don't know, because they didn't manscape back then. It could have been like a little bit of a nightmare.
Yeah.
But like, where is it? Because never mind, I'm not going to get into this.
And there were no women, so there are no like titties bouncing, so.
Oh, there are probably man titties bouncing because not everybody had to be fit, I'm sure.
That is very true, yes.
If we learned anything from the Olympics, it takes all shapes and all sizes to compete.
Yes. My friend, Carissa said, I don't know why I said my friend. No, because she's our friend. I was
like,
saying
my friend,
like my
no.
friend. No, our friend Carissa. She said, I think I'd like to go back and fight Wallace Simpson. Baby, I would dog walk that hoe.
Who is that? Was it from somebody from our high school?
Wallace Simpson. Oh my God, we saw him. Okay.
Is that OJ's
Wallace
name?
Socialite and wife of former King Edward VIII. Their intention to marry and her status as a divorcee caused a constitutional crisis that led to Edward's abdication.
Oh.
That sounds kind of familiar.
She was an American socialite and the wife, former king, married twice before she met him at a party. They became lovers, and her status as a divorcee led to a constitutional crisis that caused Edward to abdicate the throne. Oh, you know why? Because I think maybe if she hadn't done what she did, we wouldn't have Queen, like,
The hierarchy that exists now.
Meghan Markle forever.
Maybe.
Anyway, Tia said also probably November 1978 to party with Princess Grace and Liza Minnelli at Studio 54.
Okay.
Studio 54, okay. My friend Jared said, I'd want to see if Helen of Troy was really all that.
Since she's the one that fucked horses?
Was she?
Or which one was the one that fucked horses?
Helen of Troy.
Ginger did her on All Stars 2. Who was that?
Joan of Arc?
No.
Helen of Troy. Oh, it's because
that was the face. What was
she
the
was
face?
the most beautiful. Like people did all this shit for
the
her.
face
Helen of
that
Troy.
launched 1,000. Ah! Heather just spilled our wine, and that's how we
I
react
got so excited because you nailed
alcohol
it.
abuse.
Yes, the face that launched 1,000 ships. That's her. Yes, I got so excited because I was like, "You got it!"
Only because of Drag Race,
right? My friend Sean just replied with a GIF of Gladiator. So I'm assuming Gladiator
same
times.
thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Nakedness.
Summer had a good one, and this was sentimental. I would have wanted to add my presence to the 1963 Birmingham, Alabama Freedom March, going back to that pivotal moment to show real support. We love it.
Oh, okay. Well, now I feel like an asshole.
I know. I'm like dinosaurs and Selena.
Oh my god.
Yeah. But
Well,
that's the thing. Like when you see these like memes where people are like, "Let's go back to the 1950s, where it's times were simpler." Bitch, I ain't going back to the fucking 1950s.
You know, the only people who post that are. Never mind. We're not gonna answer that.
Yep. My friend Kendall said, I just want to go back in time to stare Aaron Burr in the face and ask him why he's such a damn asshole who only thinks about himself. I'm a nibbity.
Oh god.
And then my Aunt Nina said the parting of the Red Sea.
Okay, that would be fun. Because what if it was just a fucking puddle? I mean, like, they just put down like a 2x4 and walked over.
Here's what I think happened with the parting of the Red Sea. This is me being scientific, Heather. So, when Jason and I go visit his family in Canada, his great aunt lives on this beautiful body of water in New Brunswick. So when the tide is low, you can walk, like literally you can walk across to, like walk. You could probably walk into town because it all goes flat. But then as the night progresses, all the water comes back in.
That makes so much fucking sense. The fucking tide this whole time.
It was the tide. That's always what I thought. I'm like, okay, like...
That makes sense.
Yeah, it was.
Although I will say, one of my favorite movies is Prince of Egypt.
I love Prince of Egypt.
And that scene when they walk through, even though I hate those fucking sea creatures, them swimming along the side of them walking, I love it.
Have you watched the musical?
I have not.
It's when I was flying from Dublin. It was one of the options on the plane. So I've seen the opening.
Wait, like the full musical was an option on the plane?
Mm-hmm. Because they filmed it in London.
Well, where? How do I get to see
forgot
it?
where it. Oh no, you can watch it. You can watch it on YouTube if I'm not mistaken.
Oh.
So I got
really
really excited because I've seen clips of When You Believe. Stunning. The opening, Deliver Us.
Deliver us.
The woman.
I'm sorry, the music in that is still.
I have literal goosebumps.
Oh.
The woman who plays the mom in the Broadway musical, her voice, and the Nile as they're passing the baby through turns into a ballet, and so like we'll watch it later, yeah. But then it just gets real bad.
Well,
It just goes downhill.
Oh my god, did they drop frogs from the ceiling and shit?
I've never watched it past the opening number because I tried watching the second number where it's Moses and Ramses and they're doing the chariot race, and it's so bad that I gave up. I was like, I don't want to watch it. It's awful.
What makes it bad? Just cheesy?
It's just corny and cheesy. But the opening is so, like I said, we'll watch it. We'll watch it later. But yeah, Parting of the Red Sea. I think it was low tide. Like
that makes sense.
Yeah, and even with this trip we took last year to Canada, we went to. Was it also New Brunswick or no? Anyway, we took a road trip for like 2 hours, went to this place, and the tide was super low, and it was these beautiful caves, and you could literally just walk into the caves and stuff. But then there was a warning that with sound,
if the tide comes in, you're like, you better get out now or you're gonna drown. You know how many movies and TV shows have done things like that?
Yep. Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm like, I'm pretty sure that was low. I mean, granted, we can get a whole thing about the Bible, but people have to keep in mind, while the Bible is a religious document, it's also storytelling. And we know how we tell stories, right? And after a while...
We know that on January 6th, a bunch of tourists took a peaceful walk through an open door. And that was it.
Yeah.
That was it.
And, I mean, and that could be the case in however many thousands of years somebody could have written about the insurrection. And it turns into this beautiful religious... Like, they stood up and the woman who died would be like their Jesus. But...
that would be...
But also...
you know who it'd be.
Oh, yeah, duh. But keep in mind, in those times, I guarantee you, like, the plants that they smoked or ate were fucking lit because they were, like, unfiltered, hadn't been ruined by nature and pollution yet. So, guarantee you, like, Moses in the burning bush, man.
He was burning his own bush.
He was probably, because, like, the very first time I smoked weed, I hallucinated. I saw George Washington.
Ma'am,
I've never told you that story.
Laced with something.
Oh, it was absolutely laced. I was at a party at FSU with my friend Shayna.
Damn it, Shayna.
And we were in this random person's house, and I remember playing with this cat. Like they were like, "Here, try this," and I did whatever. So I was playing with a cat, and I looked up, and I was sitting kind of like near where the backyard was, and I saw George Washington on a horse coming through the yard, like all ghost-like, and he was just riding through.
Have you seen my wooden teeth?
Yep. And then the next morning, I fell asleep on that couch with the cat. The house was just full of people, and I was like, where's my friend Shayna? And I went outside, and she was asleep on the sidewalk. Yeah. Like, dead ass. I'm talking, like, the kind of sleep you'd have in, like, a Four Seasons hotel. Like, just deep in it on the sidewalk in Tallahassee.
So, you remember when bananas was a thing?
Yes, I do. On Mills.
Uh-huh. So there, for a religious amount of time, I would go to Bananas, Arvin and I.
Yeah.
And then we would go to Paradise, which does it's Matt's.
Yes.
Lounge, whatever now. Mm-hmm. They had $1 Long Islands, so we would go there. And I was dating the serial killer guy, who
was he literally?
No, but he lied about his mom dying, so he might as well have been one.
Yeah. Same.
And Arvin had to drive that day because my tire was flat.
Oh.
And so I was like, okay, so we'll go home and we'll fix my tire now. But since I wasn't driving, homeboy had several So I literally passed out in the front yard next to my car. Like, I'm on my knees. I'm like fully stretched back. So my legs are beside me, kind of like a yoga pose.
Yeah.
Wearing a fucking John Deere hat. Like, just for the, and I live on a corner lot that's very busy. So I can only see, I come, Arvin.
Like here?
Yes, here in
Oh
this
my
house.
God.
And then Arvin and that crazy motherfucker came back to find me asleep in the yard, basically. Half in the yard, half on the driveway.
Listen, sometimes you just gotta sleep.
It was 2:00 in the afternoon. Maybe 3. Maybe 3.
Sometimes.
I'm telling you, $1 Long Island's get you every time.
Always.
You have a $20 bill. Good luck.
I cannot.
Because
So
they
that-
also had karaoke at the same time.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah.
So that was traveling back in time.
It was.
Yes. Good time.
We're dumb and we know it.
We absolutely. But I think, what did we say next week? Oh, we're gonna do like
I think we're gonna
Haunted Orlando shit.
Haunted Orlando. It's coming in the list. Chimp Crazy
Oh yeah,
is
Chimp
on
Crazy.
the list.
Yeah.
Another round of Would You Rather's on the list.
I
And we
feel
have
like-
more, but we're not going to disclose those yet.
Yeah, I feel like next week we'll do like our Haunted Orlando stuff, and we'll
Should
give
we say
people.
that for October?
Oh yeah, we should.
We're going to say that.
And we'll do Chimp Crazy.
We'll see.
maybe.
You
We'll
know what?
see.
We're going
Yeah,
to say what
we'll
we're going to
figure
do. We're going to do Jerry Holloway, Hologram, Jeremiah.
Are you talking
Bootenskoot.
about?
I have no
Ginger
idea what I'm
Spice?
saying. I have no idea.
Ginger Spice is Jerry Hall. Okay.
No,
actually,
who's
quiz.
who's the crazy
Jerry
pastor? Jerry-
Orwell, Jerry Hallwell.
Hallwell was I
Yeah.
think of.
All right, here we go. Quiz. Jason failed this.
Fuck.
Well, first of all, Jason couldn't name the Spice Girls as in like their nicknames.
Okay.
Can you name the real names of the Spice Girls?
You have Emma
Yes.
Bunton.
Yes. Good job.
You have, oh my God, I just said her first name.
Mm-hmm.
Remind me what I just said?
No. The pastor.
Jerry Holiday.
Hallowell.
Hallowell.
Okay.
You have Bridget. She's sporty. Scary Spice's name is Dana.
So out of the 3 that are left, 2 of them have the same first name.
Mary, Jennifer, Lindsay. Give me first letter.
M.
Fuck Mary. Merchandise. Mary. Merchandise. Mary.
Mel B and Mel C.
Oh, Melanie.
And you're missing one more
Uh-huh.
who
I'm
quite
missing,
possibly is the most famous name in the Spice Girls.
That is Victoria Beckham.
Good job. We got there. That was a struggle, but we got there.
That's the best I've ever done. I watched a drag show of like a tribute, and I'll have to see if I can find it again, where it's all the drag queens come out to do like a reunion or whatnot.
Yeah.
And Posh is doing literally the least in the background.
Well, that's
exactly how she did, to one point where she walks off stage to get champagne, and she's just like, it was the funniest.
So when
because they were like doing cardio,
Oh, yeah.
choreo down.
When I saw the Spice Girls for their reunion tour in 2008, it was all 5 of them, which was really cool. And so because all of them had solo albums by then that were all pretty successful.
I'm sorry, they all did?
They all 5 had solo albums.
Who did Posh's?
Oh, you're like who?
No,
did her
who sang
album?
it? Because I know it wasn't her.
You've never heard "Not Such an Innocent Girl"? I'm not such an innocent girl.
No, I'm not that innocent.
Literally, she says that in the song.
It's Britney.
But she samples it.
So that came out.
I'm not that innocent.
So it came out after Britney's.
Yes, we'll watch a clip of her on Top of the Pops.
Fuck.
Emma Bunton, by far, I have the album art in my cubicle at work. Like Emma's solo album, "Free Me," is so like no skips. It's
Number
all,
one
like,
song.
bossa nova, like off the album.
Soul Bossa Nova? Ba-na-na-na-na.
No, no, it's all like
Ba-na-na-na-na.
60s kind of that throwback music. It's so, oh my God, the album is perfect. It's so good. But yeah, all 5 of them had solo. Mel C, I turn to you.
That one I
like
know.
a fire into the sun. Mel B never really had a big solo hit in the States. She did in England. Let's see, Victoria, Not Such an Innocent Girl, Emma's Free Me, Mel C, I Turn to You. Mel B, she did like Word Up. Jerry Halliwell had the Look at Me, You Can Take It All.
Wasn't she one that turned into an ambassador?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So her solo stuff, she also did a cover of It's Raining Men that was really popular. And when she performed at the Brit Awards a certain year, her set piece was literally spread legs and she came out from the middle. It's iconic.
I'm born again. All right,
Bag
you
it up,
tested me.
baby,
I'm going to test you.
Oh, God, okay.
What
Jesus.
are the first and last names of the Wiggles?
What?
The Wiggles.
You know this?
No, I'm just fucking with you.
I was like, you do not.
I don't know
out of
celebrities'
here.
names. The fact that I could get through 2 of the Spice Girls was
I know
an
that
anomaly.
there's a girl in the Wiggles named Emma because I follow her on Instagram.
Since when? I mean, I haven't seen the picture of the Wiggles since like 1941. So.
Oh, you need to watch the Wiggles documentary, which I think is on HBO Max. It is so good. So
Good in what way?
It's fascinating. So like the 4 original Wiggles, remember it was like the
The guys. They were all
guys. There was like an Asian one too. So there was.
Way to say that.
There was.
But why? Okay, so what were the? Oh, so it was 3 white guys and an Asian.
Yes.
So why didn't you just say 4 guys and leave it at that? Why did one have to be Asian?
Because that was a big deal because it was Asian representation for the Wiggles.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
now I get it. I thought
And
you were like,
no, I'm
what a
like
weird
ugh.
thing to call out.
No, it's representation.
As a black woman.
No. And so they performed, they had different iterations, but then they did a reunion and one of them, I think like Anthony, I don't know, one of them had a heart attack during the reunion show and they had to stop the whole show. And then even better, more tied in. So they got the girl Wiggle, Emma, who's like a trained ballet dancer. She's super fun. And they brought in another new guy Wiggle and they got married. And then they got divorced.
Oh, so they wiggled and waggled.
They wiggled and then they waggled. Oh. Yeah. And Emma does like a bunch of, I follow her on Instagram. She's great and does like a whole bunch of kid stuff now. And
I thought you were going to say OnlyFans.
Listen, that'd be.
Watch me wiggle.
Watch me. Ooh. Fruit salad.
Oh
yummy,
my God,
yummy.
no.
And
I already said
that's
this already,
actually
never mind.
from when I had my brief stint at that daycare center. The Wiggles were hot shit back then. So I still know like fruit salad, hot potato, hot potato.
I have only ever seen the Wiggles by like name and icon. I've never seen any. Thank you for listening to this podcast.
It's cute. It's a cute little show. And they had like a little, they had like a dog. Fruit salad.
We're going to rename this
Yummy,
podcast
yummy,
called
hey.
Tangent.
Fruit salad,
Because-
hey. Yummy, yummy, hey. Fruit salad,
Yeah.
what? Yummy, yummy.
What kind of
yummy,
fruit?
Yummy, yummy, yummy fruit salad.
Are you
Bops.
with seeds or are you seedless?
Sabrina Carpenter could
you
never.
go into a smoothie
Have you
or don't
listened
you?
to Sabrina Carpenter's new album? It's so good. Anyway, stream short and sweet for clear skin.
Yes.
Think about me every night. You know that song.
I'd have to
Espresso.
hear it. Oh, Espresso.
Yeah.
I only know it because one of my adults in my dance club wanted me to choreograph it for one of our classes.
Do you know Please, Please, Please?
Nope.
I beg you, don't embarrass me, motherfucker.
No.
Oh, we're watching. Okay,
But, you know,
we've
I
got
was
a
excited
whole
that-
playlist we need to watch. What
We
time
do.
is it?
It's-
7:47. We got time. Okay.
I will say the Chapel Roan.
Yes, I like her.
I did, by request, do Hot to Go the other day in class too, so that was fun. But anyway, we're gonna end this now. Thank you
Yes.
for listening. Follow us on the Instagram. I think, do we have a Facebook yet?
We do have a
Facebook.
Facebook page.
Oh
I'm
my
trying
God.
to put more content on it so that way I can deliver it to you all with content versus it being just a blank page with no posts.
Yeah,
But it's there.
that.
It's there. We're getting there. We're getting
So
there.
everything is Heather and Steven get into ...
Tell your friends.
If you want to send us an email, heatherandsteven@gmail.com or Heather and Steven get into at
Yes.
gmail.com.
And to spell it out because Google won't let us use an ampersand, which is racist.
What?
I'm kidding. Yeah, ampersand.
Oh.
That's what this thing's called. I was
I
kidding.
know. It's
yeah.
like, why wouldn't it say that? Oh.
No, they don't like symbols, so I had to spell it Heather and Steven.
I see. I
Get
see.
into at gmail.com.
Okay, we're going to get into an English lesson now. So until next time, folks, we'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye. Back time. We could sing that.
If
we could turn back time.
Oh,
Mo.
perfect.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, let's.
We do this every time.
Every time.
Every time.
Every time. Okay.